Hi, this is Rena Makhdoom, and today we are going to talk about success as a system. What is a system? A system is a formula. For example, when we have a recipe, we take the same amount of each ingredient, we combine them, we cook them at the same temperature for the same amount of time, and we always get the same results. Success is like a recipe, and when you have the right recipe, we can generate the results we want with a lot of ease. Orrin Hudson was an inner city youth. To avoid the children getting into trouble after school, Orrin was put into a chess program, and he eventually learned how to play the game of chess and won many awards in chess, including headed on the cover of Time magazine. He said that success is like a combination lock. Most of us have one or two numbers to the combination lock, but when we have all three numbers, that's when the lock opens. Does it matter if we're male or female? No, the lock will open regardless of gender. Does it matter if we're rich or poor? Does it matter what our race or religion is? When we have the combination to unlock success, it will open for us no matter who we are or what we do. Instead of living through life like a maze where we're trying to figure out the way, wouldn't you like to just power through and get to the other side with little to no work? This is one of my favorite memes. Let's stop shrinking ourselves so other people can feel bigger. Only you can use your potential. And when we limit our potential, we take away our gift from the world. Or what we do is we compare our gifts to someone else's gifts and think our gifts are not valuable. My strengths are in science. My strengths are in brain research. My strengths are in mathematics. I always used to look at the kids that were more socially adept and more popular, and I used to compare myself to them and lose. But my strengths were in the analytical and getting down to the details of what makes things work and what really makes a difference when it comes to human performance. For over 30 years, I was able to build a business where I taught women entrepreneurs how to have their own business, and I taught them success formulas so they could get the results, so they wouldn't have to shrink themselves so someone else could feel bigger. How do you find out what your gift is? One of the ways is vision mapping. What we can do is look at the things that make us unique, our challenges, our obstacles, our little quirky personality traits. That's what attracts people to us. I have shown you this vision map where we can go and look for items that make us unique. What change would we like to see in this world? What are the things you really enjoy doing? What 3 words describe happiness for you? It's different for everybody. What would a perfect day look like? Would you want to be in an office all day? Would you want to be out meeting with people? Or would you want to be out in nature where you could just enjoy the environment? This world needs all types to make it shine, and withholding your type is not going to help. Figure out what are your quirks and those little weird things or the compliments that you seem to get, and write them down and realize that's what you're known for. I kept trying to be energetic and popular when really I was known for my amazing analytical and problem-solving skills. This is one of my very first mentors, Mary Kay Ash. She taught me something very early in my career, and that was, for ladies, a man is not a plan. Let's everyone be independent. Most men are taught to stand on their own 2 feet, go for their careers. If they're going to have a family, they delegate some of the responsibility or even all of the responsibility for the children. They know to have work-life balance, and they're taught to say no. They know their finances, and they also know what their goals are. But often for women, the messaging that we get is get married, wait for the knight the knight in shining armor coming down on a white horse, and everything will be all right. Well, a man is not a plan. Have your own plan for success and realize that even if it all relies on you, you can still be successful. They took all the female graduates from Harvard University and tracked them over a period of 20 years. And they looked at the females that made it up to the VP and CEO levels of corporations and the ones that did not. And they were trying to figure out what were the factors Was it if they had kids? Was it if they got married or not? What were the factors that kept a woman from achieving the top level of success that most men do? And what they found out was it was not having kids, it was having a supportive husband or not. Russell Brunson says that you will only become as successful as your spouse allows you to be. Having someone in your corner that is a true cheerleader, that sees your gifts and pushes you to greatness, is the best gift you can give yourself. And if you don't have that, I would not try to go and change that person. I would look inside and say, why am I allowing myself to be around someone that doesn't see the greatness in me? And what can I do to make sure that the people I spend the most time with actually see how valuable I am? In Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principle, he talks about the very first principle that he thought was the most important, and that is take 100% responsibility for your life. Whether something good happens or whether something bad happens, Jack says that it's better if we act as if we were 100% responsible for it. The formula he uses is E plus R equals O, where the event plus our response determines the outcome. So it's not just the event that determines the outcome, but our response has a huge impact on how the outcome is going to come. In order to properly implement the formula E plus R equals O, there's no blaming and there's no complaining. We don't blame the weather when we're late. We don't complain about the teacher when we fail a test. We take 100% responsibility for any of the results that we have in our lives. Often we are taught to take responsibility for the good results, right? When we get a prize or we buy a big house or get a job promotion, that's when we take responsibility for the results. But oftentimes when we are passed up for those opportunities, we are also responsible for the results. Here are a few questions for you. Who's the one that ate the junk food? Who's the one that didn't go to bed on time? Was it traffic or did you not leave early enough? Who's the one that put the fork in your mouth? Who's the one that stayed at that job? Who's the one that refused to ask a difficult question? Who's the one that let the situation go on too long until it grew into a huge problem? Who abandoned your dream? Who bought that? Who decided you had to do it alone? Who trusted him or her or them? Who said yes when they really meant no? And who chose to believe them? That's where we take responsibility. And when we have responsibility, we have the most power in the world. Because if we are responsible for a situation, whether it's our weight or our credit score or the way our children turned out, then we can actively make a change in that situation. When we blame and complain, we give away all our power. Let's say I told you you had the ugliest green hair I'd ever seen. Would you be offended? Most people are not offended because they don't have the green hair. Even if I give you an insult, it doesn't matter what I say unless you accept the insult. People don't give offense, people take offense. Are there things that we are taking offense to that really are not our problems? The biggest thing that I can tell you about human communication, rule number 1 is never take anything too personally. When someone says something demeaning or just plain lies, it's a reflection of what's going on inside of them. We don't need to take it personally. We don't need to get upset. We don't need to post it on social media and bash everyone that we can. We get ourselves to a level where we're so in love with ourselves, that we're so well self-nurtured, that we take care of ourselves, where we surround ourselves with supportive people, that when people offend us, it just doesn't even affect us. As a female engineer, when I got really assertive or gave ideas or didn't play by some of the corporate rules, as women, we get labeled the B word. And we want to understand that it's not actually an insult, it's an acronym. And the B word stands for boys, I'm taking control here. So anytime we are labeled with some kind of negative connotation like that, It usually means that the people we're around have lost control and they are now trying to control us. And that's why they use that term. I wish you all the success, and the only way you can get it is to grow. I've created a free self-love guide with several quizzes so you can start that growth process. Scan a QR code and get a guide for yourself. And remember, success is a journey, not a destination. Every day we overcome a challenge or learn something new, we become a better version of ourselves, and we are better equipped to hit the next challenge in life.